You said that the president right now is with the trade and tariff team. They are very confident that this is all going to work. But
Yes.
what if they're wrong?
They're not going to be wrong. It is going to work.
USA, 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 USA.
You're listening.
Yeah, like all the time I'm listening.
WATB with Christian, Eric, and Carl sometimes.
Listen in your office, in your car, or even your neighborhood bar.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're having fun. We're making it happen.
It's fun time.
Open your mouth, close your eyes. We're going to give you a big surprise.
And here it is.
Welcome to Who Are These Broadcasters, the only show that thinks April Fool's Day is hilarious, but out of our respect for the sacred day, we're not going to do some half-assed corny bit, and we're just going to do a regular show. I'm Christian Bladt. He is Eric Zane. How are you today? Great chat here. I think they might have been talking about somebody we showed during the countdown. Dr. Bob's ankle monitor. Get that cunt off my screen. Which one of the, you think they're talking about, me or you?
I don't know. I don't. It's the first time I've ever seen that Dr. Bob's ankle monitor. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. Well, we appreciate it. And how are you doing today, sir?
Never better. Never better. Glad to be back. Glad to be back. I'm excited. We've got some fun clips. Can't wait to get into.
And we have a special, very prestigious guest, Mr. Karl Hamburger, Hamburger.
Yeah, the boss.
From a show called Who Are These Podcasts, another show called Who Are These Socials, This Little Piggy, Point Dabble Point, The Creep Off, creepoff.com, vote for Vinny, you know, all these things that we need to know when we go out there and we look, but we appreciate him.
Is the boss going to is he going to drop some knowledge on us? Is he going to reprimand us?
I've got clips from one of his favorite subjects. Possibly, he is the #1 fan, of course, of musician Corey Feldman. I think a lot of people might enjoy his acting as a child, but I do believe Karl is uniquely qualified to react with us to Corey Feldman's appearance on Billy Corgan's podcast. And I have spent a lot of time scouring that 1 hour and 15 minutes and very excited to share that. But that'll be a little bit later. For right now, we should let people know that Dabble House, April 11th and 12th, that'll have season 2 of the Kate Meany tapes. Hackamania, May 9th through the 11th in Las Vegas. Hackamania.com. WATP promo code to save 10% on tickets. No promo code will save you more than promo code WATP, despite what a potato might tell you. And go to whoarethese.com, join the Patreon, become a member on YouTube. You'll be able to watch WATP record live Wednesdays and Saturdays. You'll get 2 bonus episodes every month, including last week's crossover with the Blind Mike Project, taking another look at Julia Fox's memoir, Down the Drain. And I think that they've said it a few times. They are 3.5 hours into her audiobook, Eric, and she's in 8th grade. Yeah, I believe the word Kanye hasn't come up even once. So
I love the as time has passed, the different things that they delve into. It seems like there's never ever an end to the content.
No, especially not with Julia Fox, although unfortunately she doesn't post anymore. But before we dive into our clip package, let everybody know how super chats work on this program, Eric.
Well, how this works is quite simple. If you want Christian to sign off with something ridiculous, like if you wanted Christian to say something terrible about me, because you're like, you just whatever, you have an axe to grind and you want Christian to lower the boom as he should.
We bring the boom.
Right.
That's what we do.
Write it out there and then attach a dollar amount to it. And then Christian will say it on the show to wrap it up. And I think that's a fantastic way to get something off of your chest because you're whatever you've got something you want to say.
It's not a far cry to get me to talk about how much I hate Eric Zane. It's actually very easy. The poor chat can ask nicely, and we will get to it. So that'll be a little bit later. In any case, as we've said before, I do occasionally get notes from people who say they get most of their news from Who Are These Broadcasters. So with that in mind, let's head over.
Who are these politics? Who are these politics?
Unfortunately, I've lowered all of these a little bit, and I probably shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean? You changed the volume?
just a little bit, you know, but I think it's all right. No, I'm kidding. There.
Yeah, you want to make sure because they were perfect.
I believe they're still perfect. We'll see what Karl thinks.
Okay.
He plays a lot of jingles, especially on Earthy Socials, and I think ours measure up. So here on the show, over the year and a half or so we've been doing it, we featured a lot of clips from RSBN, which does stand for the Right Side Broadcast Network. Now, with a name like that, you'd expect them to love President Trump, which is fine. Look, a lot of people love Trump. You don't have to hate him. That's great. A lot of people like him. I did find this to be just a little bit excessive. It's sort of like when you're trying to tell a girl that you like, that you're really into her, and she's like, yeah, I get it. So here's a RSBN trying to make out with President Trump.
The lawfare. We know the fake impeachments. We know the assassination attempts. This man and his family have endured so much, but truly they have the protection of God and angels surrounding them in this process. And he smiles every day, and we smile every day here at the network and really throughout the country, as one of our great correspondents who's on a regular basis, the Republican strategist, Katie Zacharias, says it is like Christmas every day with President Trump at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, because these complicated issues are being handled so well and so thoroughly.
He's not going to fuck you. I just think you need to know that, buddy.
Christ. That wasn't even like a story about anything. It was just throwing accolades towards him.
By the way, when you do a show like this, every day kind of is Christmas, but I don't think that's what he's talking about. But at no time is he going to put out for you, buddy. But
look at that RSBN logo. It looks like something I'd whip up on like fucking paint or something.
Honestly, it's a worse version, a much worse version, because I always liked the logo for the Anthony Cumia show with the microphone. Anthony's logo is much better than RSBN.
Well, yeah. I mean, what is that font? Is it called italic? What the fuck?
I believe it's Times Old Roman. Huh? Come on. You guys didn't think you were going to get font jokes today. All right. So thanks for being here. So JD Vance and his wife went to Greenland. Now, I have to point out, this is not the euphemism when you say somebody should go to Greenland. They actually went to actual Greenland. Only nobody wanted them there because his boss has done something crazy about talking about taking Greenland by force. Whatever. I guess they didn't respond well to that. So instead, they go to a military base, and JD Vance, we've seen him over the course of this show, man of the people. He knows how to identify and share his thoughts on visiting Greenland.
It's cold as shit here. Nobody told me.
JD, yeah? How cold is it? Cold? Well, what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold. And he's just a guy, man, who was shocked that Greenland in March is cold as shit.
How we doing? It's cold as shit here. Nobody told me.
Okay, this is the first thing he said that I like. This is the first time I've found him relatable in any way, shape, or form.
I did enjoy that. I think it's fun.
Except that he said it like, it's cold as shit here. I mean, he can't say it cool.
When you just said it like that, you made me realize how much he sounds like Fred Schneider from the B-52s. Okay. Sign says, stay away, fool, because it's cold in Greenland. So thank you for that. I never thought of that. Like, what? Me? What did I do? I don't know. I glanced at the chat. I don't think I'm the asshole, but you know what? That's all right. It's fine. So, all right. So you liked that. I'm glad you liked that.
Well, I like that he said it. I mean, whatever. Yeah. It isn't. It's how he said it. He sounded like a jackass, but all right.
Yeah, and it's great because his wife was supposed to go and do some cultural stuff, and everyone said no, we don't want you to come. So then JD is like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to Greenland with you. But that's like a little too newsy for this show. I do want to turn to our hero, the hero we need, the hero we deserve, Peter Ducey from Fox News Channel. He is newsy, but I didn't mean that. Peter Ducey from Fox News Channel. Look, I'm excited. Karl's going to be here. You know how I get. So he asked President Trump about a story that keeps making the rounds And stories like this make the rounds, especially when the stock market's tanking. But again, I don't know if that's really what we're talking about here. Maybe that might just be a coincidence. There's a lot of discussion about this idea as to whether or not Trump could serve a third term. So Peter Doocy, our buddy, asks him, what does he think about that? Because then Democrats could run him against Barack Obama.
I know it's hypothetical right now, but if you were allowed for some reason to run for a third term, is there a thought that the Democrats could try to run Barack Obama against you?
I'd love that.
For his third term?
Boy, I'd love that. That would be a good one. I'd like that. No, people are.
Do you think he would actually like that?
Yeah,
he'd like to beat him.
But this guy has so much confidence right now. I mean, he'll say or do anything.
Yeah. He's like, he thinks he could beat AI Reagan. He's like, no,
right.
I'm the guy. Yeah.
So I don't, he at least feels that way outwardly. I don't know if he stands by that. I mean, God knows. I don't think we've ever really heard what Trump feels or says.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, who knows what's going on in that noggin?
He does take a compliment well, though. We do get to see that. All right, so he goes on, President Trump, about this.
Asking me to run, and there's a whole story about running for a third term. I don't know. I never looked into it. They do say there's a way you can do it, but I don't know about that. But
no,
who's they?
Steve Bannon, but also there's not. You can't. You won't. The genius theory was people like, well, JD Vance should run for president, and then Trump is his VP, and I'll point it. Well, Trump can't run for vice president. So none of this will happen. No, because he's already been president twice. You can't have a role where.
I didn't know that was a rule. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so he can't be vice president because
he's
been president twiise. So he can't do any of the things that he's talking about. But he's like,
I have not looked into it. I want to do a fantastic job. We have 4 years, just about, almost close to 4 years. Time is flying, but it's still close to 4 years. And we're getting a lot of credit for having done a great job in the first almost 100 days. And we have some big things we're going to be announcing over the next 2 days.
Yeah. Okay. So he's like, let's focus on this.
He's fucking with everyone.
Everyone.
He has no intent. He's just saying it for fucking for shits and giggles. God damn, it's like you shits and giggles.
Hey.
And so I might do the same thing. I mean, that's
you definitely would. You would.
That is fun to screw with people like that. So I can't fault him. He does it, whether he means it or not, probably not. But Yoda World says that made me griggle. God damn it.
See, that's what we're held to a higher standard, but that's only because the Tuesday audience is the best audience on this channel. And let's never forget that. This next one is the perfect Marjorie Taylor Greene clip because in it, she won't take any shit. She lets a foreigner know exactly how she feels about their country, but it also doesn't go anywhere near as well as she thinks it does. So she wants to talk about NPR, but no one wants to talk to her about NPR.
Wait, what country are you
from? The UK.
Okay, we don't give a crap about your opinion and your reporting. Why don't you go back to your country where you have a major migrant problem?
Okay, do you care?
No. You should care about your own borders.
Do you care about American lives being put at risk?
Let me tell you something. Do you care about people from your country? What about all the women that are raped by migrants?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
She's never looked worse. This is not strong lighting.
Oh my God. She looks like that one chick that got so much plastic surgery. She looks like a cat. What's her name? Gianna Versace. She's starting to look like Gianna Versace. What an ugly whore.
Yeah. And she's like, no. Nobody wants to hear about that. So yes, a reporter from the UK has the audacity to ask her a question. And Marge is not going to let it go.
Do you care about
No, do you care? Okay,
do you care about American lives being put at risk? About service members fighting for your country?
I don't care
and
about
your vice president and your defense secretary?
Okay, So
so all she did was enter the room and Marge just flew up at her?
She'd been talking for a while, and then this
Okay.
was the time to take questions. And she's just, saying like, there was some classified information over an unclassified app. It's still that story.
Yeah,
And, this is a few days ago, people asking about that. So some would say it's still important, but, what do I know? All right. So she wants to move on from this.
President and your defense secretary.
Yeah, this is an American journalist. Thank you.
I'm an American, and I'd like to hear your answer to what she's asking.
And I love that fucking answer. I couldn't find that guy's name, but I love that he's like, yeah, I'm an American journalist, and I want to know your answer to her question. So Marge thinks she's still got the upper hand.
I'm not answering her question
right,
because I don't care about her network. If you would like to ask, I can
Do you
answer.
have any concerns whatsoever about the complete disregard of operational security from the top level of this administration?
So he asked the exact same question,
Yes,
the way she asked it, but she wasn't going to answer it from her. And even it's like, okay, yeah, I want your answer. So this guy's handling this really well. I hope he at least got a handy from the lady reporter.
Yeah,
But again, it's his right.
You want to know about complete disregard about operational security?
What do you think she's going to say here?
Anything other than what they want to know.
Yeah.
Anything.
If you think there's somebody that she might blame for having bad operational security, who might it be?
It's got to be Hillary Clinton, right?
It's close. Close.
You should talk about the Biden administration, how they ripped our borders open
Yep.
to terrorists.
Not what we're talking about, honey.
Child sex trafficking, human trafficking.
Yeah, but those
and
are all
drug
good
trafficking
things.
across our borders
It's my favorite kind of trafficking.
for 4
of all the
years.
trafficking.
Human trafficking.
Think
That's
about
the
all
one I
those hot kids who are here now because of that. God damn it. Oh, something else to be mad over.
Oh my God. That's going on the list.
The Trump administration is doing a great job, and I stand by their statements.
Of course.
I stand by their statements.
Whatsoever about
My comment to you is I'm
confidence.
thankful to President Trump that he is leading us out of
Oh, she's
wars,
good.
that he's ending
Yeah, well, she knows how to stay on message. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
she can deflect with the best of them.
Well, let's see if she keeps it up.
the war in Ukraine, where American lives could have been killed if Joe Biden was still president today, whether he liked it or not. We're talking about NPR and PBS today.
Nobody gives a shit.
We're talking about fake news that was funded with federal.
Sorry, the one pun. If that strap holding her face back snaps, somebody's losing an eye. Yes.
Oh, she's definitely got stretched face disease now.
Thank you, the one pun.
Federal funding from American taxpayers. That's what this is about today, not journalists from
But
the UK.
a journalist is being vilified for exposing failings in the way that your government.
Okay, so for our audio audience, she's following her body man now. Is
Yeah,
basically
now
her-
she's Green has deflected, and now she's like, "Oh, I'm just going to walk away."
Yeah, and this reporter, and I believe the entire gaggle of reporters are following her. This did not seem to be a very well-attended event, by the way. It seemed like it happened in a hallway outside the office from the office. I'm not really sure where this location is, but so she's going to follow her.
Conducts itself. Is that not that journalist doing a good job?
Oh,
Does
no.
Defense Secretary Hegseth need to
No,
resign
she's
over
quiet.
this
Is she wearing a
representative?
jumpsuit?
We're gonna get a good look at it in a second, but whatever it is, it should go to Goodwill.
Does Defense Secretary Hegseth need to resign over this representative?
Absolutely not. He's doing a great job.
He's doing a great job, but he was putting American service members' lives at risk.
Your country's going to put
This is deflecting.
Yeah. So then she goes back to her country and she has everything to say. I want to just take a moment and take a look at this ill-fitting, very unappealing dress for our audio audience. I mean, it's a dress, it's a jumpsuit, it's a onesie. I don't know what it is. How would you describe this to our audio audience, Eric?
Bathrobe dress.
Yes. Okay. That's good.
Okay. Yeah. It's got some bathrobes in it, and the color is drab.
The color is definitely
You got
drab.
this at the Army Navy surplus store.
Yes.
It's the best type of dress you could possibly get, made out of the same fabric as the 1968 tent.
This is the first time I think I've gotten a good look at the back seat of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
She's in shape, though. I give her that. I think she's pretty together.
I guess. How would this is like the old website Hot or Not. What do you think of that ass? Would you tap that if
yeah,
your,
yeah,
if your
I
dick
would.
worked?
And I think she takes two. I think she actually takes two regularly. She strikes me as the type. She strikes me as like an aggressive lover in the sack.
Oh yeah, we've had that guy on, that reporter that's her boyfriend. And,
Okay.
yeah, he looks like he wouldn't take anything less. So yeah, I thought that was a fun interaction. You know, it is from Sky News's TikTok. So that reporter's from Sky News. She didn't want to talk to her. She does not like to talk to foreigners of any kind, even when they're white foreigners. She still doesn't want to talk to them.
By the way, I got it. We have we're already way behind.
Okay.
Carlos Pellegro.
Carlos, yeah, Carlos Pellegro. Yeah, you fucking said it.
You do a better job with your Chip Chipperson. Do you?
Oh, who handles font-related crimes? A son sheriff. What's Satan's favorite font? Helvetica. Home run, Chipper. Fucking home run, Carlos. I wasn't ready for it. I think Hamilton Burger, my headphones are malfunctioning. It must be WATB. Thanks, Hamilton Burger. We appreciate that, sir.
All right.
And we got your super chat on. All right. So, well, just when you thought that President Trump might never again share the Oval Office with anyone more insufferable than Elon Musk's son X, along comes a gentleman named Bob Ritchie, aka the KID. So he has to sit here while Kid Rock is dressed like, I don't know, a carnival barker, Dallas Cowboys cheerleader circa 1967. I'm not sure.
I heard someone say Evel Knievel. Look, he was shot out of a cannon.
Actually, that is definitely because it's got the American flag. I do believe that's a 13 colonies, the good old days of the American flag. And he's got the hat on, so.
These are stage clothes that he might wear at the local barbecue festival that his band is performing in front of, or the
he does tend to turn up at a barbecue festival,
county fairs.
It was a barbecue restaurant,
right?
So let's hear what the KID has to say.
Thank you for making this happen so quick. Anyone who's bought a concert ticket in the last decade, maybe 20 years, no matter what your politics are, knows that it's a conundrum. You buy a ticket for $100. By the time you check out, it's $170. You don't know what you can charge for, but more importantly, these bots.
Okay, now continue to watch Trump while he's speaking. And when we're done with this clip, I want you to give me some ideas for what Trump might actually be talking about while Kid Rock drums on.
You know, they come in to get all the good tickets to your favorite shows you want to go to, and then they're relisted immediately for sometimes a 400% or 500% markup. And the artists
not
don't
your
see
ticket.
Money.
No.
Ultimately, I think this is a great first step. I would love down the road if there'd be some legislation that we could actually put a cap on the resale of tickets. And I'm a capitalist and a deregulation guy, but they've tried this in some places in Europe, and it seems to be the only thing that's us as artists be able to get the tickets into the hands of the fans.
So he's such an America First guy. He's wearing that uniform, and he's like, in Europe, they're able to try to limit the markup. He's a capitalist, and he's like, all right, well, what's more capitalistic than taking a concert ticket that someone wants, not a Kid Rock ticket, and charging $1,000 for it because someone's willing to pay $1,000 for it.
Yeah, he's saying everything needs to be capitalistic except for the business that I'm in, is what he's saying.
Yeah, fuck Europe, except for what they're doing to put more money in my pocket. Although he's trying to say that's not what he's looking for.
And it's a damn good thing he has those sunglasses on, because I saw him on Fox News.
Yeah.
And he's starting to get to a point. He's the same age as me, and I'm waiting for this to happen to me too, where one eye is starting to look the other way. He's getting one eye going one way and the other the other way. And so I think he's starting to fall apart.
Yeah. And by the way, remember the uproar that Zelensky showed up in the Oval Office and didn't wear a suit. But this guy's, in like Elvis's 69 comeback jumpsuit.
I'll be the first one to say, and I know the president doesn't like when I say this, but I'm a little overpaid right now.
I doubt that.
It's kind of ridiculous. I would rather be, a hero to working class people. And
I'm sure you would. Come on.
Yeah, I would have rather never had the opportunity to fuck Pamela Anderson. I would have wanted
idiot. You fucking clown. You bum. Get out of here.
So hopefully this is a step to really be able to make that
I used to love this guy, by the way.
Did you?
No, I was a huge fan. I used to go to, I'm not kidding you. I went to see him in Vegas. I would follow him to different venues. My wife and I were such fans of his.
This was back when you had black hair and you used to, stir the chili outdoor at music.
Oh yeah, big time. I do the stir the chili dance. And,
so what do you think that Trump was talking about that whole time? Because he wasn't listening. There's no way he's listening. Yeah.
No, all he heard was Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah. Great reference. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. So I enjoyed that, and I played way more of that clip than I needed to, just because he's just going on, and he's a capitalist. But let's try to give Kid Rock more money. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
The thing about Kid Rock, if you were to look at his tour now,
yeah,
it goes Michigan, Louisville, Kentucky, Madison, Wisconsin,
okay,
Texas. Like, that's as far west as he'll go, because if the U.S. is just those states now that he can sell tickets, and he can't sell tickets. Florida, shit like that. That's the only place where he can make his music or actually do his music live at those states.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So
there
yeah,
you go. Look at
Nebraska, Minnesota, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Louisiana, Nashville. Oh my gosh, Kid Rock's 3rd annual comedy jam.
Oh, that sounds great.
I'm not lying. I'm actually going to be in Nashville. I'm going for a conference, a convention. We're recording.
Right around the corner.
I might have to go.
Right
by the way,
around the corner.
Kid Rock with Uncle Cracker. All right. What else do you need? And the answer is not much.
Yeah, lucky Uncle Cracker. I mean, that guy, he doesn't do anything if he's not with Kid Rock. Jesus Christ.
All right. Well, let's keep it newsy, but let's make it a little bit more local.
WATB, who are these local news? Who are these local newscasters?
So this is one you shared with me. Usually a retiring commercial airline pilot. Doesn't seem like a huge story, but I feel like the two girls doing this, and I am going to call them girls because they seem relatively young, they're very focused on this guy's name. And I can see that his name is why Easy shared it. So let's...
and it wouldn't be a news story otherwise.
No, but the fact that this is his surname makes it a news story.
Thanks. When an airline pilot retires, it's a tradition to be greeted with water cannons from fire trucks on the runway during their final flight.
And today, Republic Airways pilot Mark Browneye had a special send-off at the...
So, Mark, who was that? Oh, Mark Browneye had a special send-off. By the way, are these Grand Rapids like 8s, these two?
Oh, big time. Grand Rapids is full of some of the ugliest people in America.
That's what I thought, because I believe this is Grand Rapids. I
right. This is right in my backyard. Brown Eye showed up right. That was his last flight, was right here. And these two Grand Rapids 9s, I'd say.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, we can
they as Stone Man says, Brown Eye, seriously, that guy's an asshole.
All right. I love that. Oh, sorry. Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it isn't. All right. Sometimes we got to get the bell. All right. I don't do it often on this show. All right. Let's hear more about the Brown Eye.
Gerald R. Ford International Airport. He flew in from Chicago around 1 this afternoon on a United Airlines flight. You can see the water cannon salute right here. So cool to see.
Too bad it's not brown.
Eye has been an airline pilot.
So you want them to dye the water brown?
Yeah. Did you know that this is a thing? That
no, I've never heard
water
of water
cannons over the plane.
I've heard of Brown Eye before, but never the water cannons.
Right. Okay. Well, here he is. Here comes Brown Eye.
He says he was inspired to take on flying as a job after seeing his uncle fly out of Gerald R. Ford as a pilot more than 50 years ago. While flying has been his life, he plans on keeping his feet
I do want that certificate of recognition on my wall. Mark Brown Eye.
On the ground during retirement and spending time with his family.
There's a guy named Benjamin Franklin. He said, to be happy, you need 3 things.
Oh.
Okay, what are
Something to do.
Okay.
Something to look forward to.
Yep.
Someone to love.
Something to put in your asshole.
I've been flying airplanes for 40 years. I figured out I wasn't going to be a fishing guide a long time ago because I needed something to look forward to. So
that's pretty deep, Brown Eye.
Yeah, you do love the brown eye, and so do these girls. They are big fans of the brown eye. Someone who allegedly is a big fan of the brown eye, I've heard him referred to as a just do it, is our buddy Karl Hamburger, Hamburger. Karl, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me, guys. Good to see you both. And I got to tell you, we have a lot of live viewers on, which is very exciting.
Yes.
I'm thinking we rename this show Corey Feldman and Stuttering John.
Yes, I think that's
the title from now on. Get rid of who are these broadcasters.
Sometimes it's not easy to name an episode of this show, and other times you're like, well, I think I know. And we are going to take a quick look at the Lion and Cub podcast. Now I am rock hard. I know, Karl, you don't approve of the poor chat, but we need to use it a little bit on it.
I know. How many meetings do I have to reprimand you guys?
It's not his show.
They're all his show, Eric. So I did want to talk about a local news story before we move on to one of our big events here. Nothing tops a restaurant giving you a free meal on your birthday. Usually the restaurant is in on it. Unfortunately, a restaurant in Chicago was not in on the free birthday.
Now you see them and now you don't. We've blurred the video because the trio hasn't been charged yet. But you can't miss that distinctive blue wig and the massive tab they left behind.
The server went to the table. Yep. They asked for the ticket to be split.
Okay.
She left from this table behind me to a few steps away, clicked the button. As she left, they got up one at a time and walked out.
So,
okay.
This is a terrible thing to do. Anybody's ever worked in the service industry, it's one of the worst things you can do. This restaurant did not make the servers pay when somebody does this. But Karl, I hear this story and I just think, what awful place could three rude and absolutely terrible people possibly be visiting Chicago from and behave this way?
Days ago, the three women from Rochester, New York visited Soul Vibes.
All right, all of a sudden now it makes sense. All right.
Why is the spokesperson the owner's mother?
Well,
did she have to go tell her mom about the bad people?
Well, I
think weird.
We did see the blue wig though, so yeah, and so we hear a couple of times how they were able to pull this off. But Karl, obviously as the co-host of the Creep Off, there's nothing better than somebody who's really bad as a criminal. That can be fun, especially on Karl's Cop Cam.
Sure.
So these girls thought they had the perfect crime, except of all the evidence they decided to leave.
On surveillance, leaving one by one within 30 seconds of the server stepping away. They also forgot that they signed up on the wait list before being seated, including their name and phone number.
Whoops. So they used their real name and their real phone number to confirm. All right, so that's a mistake. Well, I'm sure they didn't do anything else that would incriminate them.
And to add insult to injury, they posted this onto social media, thanking the restaurant for the free food while laughing at waitstaff like...
That's pretty funny. That's fun. That's how you use social media right there.
Yeah, exactly. I think that that could be a whole new segment on Who Are These Socials? People who dine and dash and then post it afterwards.
Yeah, I believe they call it women posting their L's. That's what we're seeing here.
Yeah. There's one more part of this video, and I need to share it because there are some accents that when you hear them, you can't take seriously what the person's saying.
Just a few of the incidents they've recorded.
It's an industry of pennies and nickels. So when you get these dine and dash incidences, you know what I mean? The consumer or the people who are doing this dine and dash might think, oh, it's just $100. Yeah, but it's hurting the bottom line.
Oh. So would you want that guy? Yeah, it's hurting the bottom line, Karl. I don't think you get it.
Right.
He's hurting the bottom line. Yeah, so I don't know if that's the guy you want to lead your restaurant association.
In Chicago, we drink old style and we dine and dash. There's nothing fucking wrong with it.
Christian, no offense. I know you do a great job curating this show.
Sure.
Is this the slowest news day in Chicago ever?
You know
people
what?
didn't pay their bill and they're doing a 5-minute segment on it?
Right.
Only 100 people got shot last night. So
you're right. I know, there's other shit
on
going on.
Yeah.
Was that Dank De Moss I saw right after that sexy voice Chicagoan?
I'm so glad you mentioned her. We're gonna get to her.
Oh, good.
Chad's missing upper lip made me aware of something that I had not seen, and this was literally like 20 minutes before the show. All right. Well, we're in the local news segment, and there was no bigger local news. And I even mentioned to Karl, I know you covered this on WATP. I know Bedabbler covered it on Bedabbling Live, and I'm sure that Shuli's had it. But
well, I'm prepping for the Drew Lane show. I'm doing that in a little bit.
Okay.
And I just got a text from Drew asking me to bring clips from this to his show as well.
You're like, great, I already have it.
Well, I remember that Stuttering John mentioned that his other appearance, I don't know if you heard this, but he was talking to someone after his comedy show, and he said his other appearance was better.
Yeah.
And I said, well, where's the other appearance? Someone emailed that to me this morning. So I
God,
might have some new content of John on local news.
That's amazing. Well, Eric, I know you stay out of the Dabbleverse. You scoff at Stuttering John from afar. So he was promoting a gig in Youngstown, Ohio, I believe. So here he is.
God.
And you, sir, have never seen chemistry like he has with this local news anchor. So let's see how John does midday. I believe this is the noon newscast where maybe the audience isn't ready for John Melendez.
You were on Jay Leno for a number of years. I remember back when I first started here at FMJ, you know, at night we would pitch to the Tonight Show, and there's your voice introducing the guests.
I can't believe that. Could you imagine the Tonight Show hired a stutterer to be their announcer? I mean, that's like entrusting Charlie Sheen with your Coke.
I wouldn't know, John.
He's Muttley from the Hanna-Barbera cartoons. How'd you feel that joke went over, Eric? It's like having Charlie Sheen watch a Coke.
I don't think the guy laughed. I mean,
No.
John laughed, but the other guy just kind of looked at him like, oh, God.
No, you're gonna hear this guy do some verbal gymnastics to try and get away from that joke.
I'm only maybe
The analogy is
No, I'm
completely
only kidding.
fucked.
No, John, we thought you were being honest.
But think about that. They found an incompetent person to do a job they can't do. That's just like giving a drug addict your drugs. Like,
yeah.
What? No, it's not.
No,
it's not even close.
Yeah, I know, and I believe I've heard a few of you covering this already, trying to come up with what a better example is.
Yeah,
It's
how about
like
this?
anything.
How about this? Bronny James being drafted by the Lakers. Is that a better example?
That's a way better. But now LeBron's going to corner you courtside and try and tell you what he thinks of you. All right. So, but you know what? John's just joking.
I'm only kidding. I know there's a police station.
Yeah, right across the street. Watch out.
Yeah, I'm only kidding. But it was. I couldn't believe it that they hired.
I'm only kidding. Thanks, John. Yeah.
Jesus. Because the cops are going to arrest you because of the joke?
I mean,
Yes.
they might shake him down and see what's in his pocket.
I mean, in the joke, Charlie Sheen has done all the coke, so that the cops don't have any evidence.
There is. Oh, man.
So, he was on the Tonight Show in its various iterations for a very long time, and you would think, oh, he's going to have some amazing stories about his biggest memory from doing the Tonight Show.
So, what were some of your best memories of the Tonight Show?
It's funny because I stutter, obviously. It's not an act, although people think it's an act. And
I think it's an act, by the
Wow.
way. Hey,
He is so up. Everyone is living rent-free in this guy's head. He cannot stop himself.
well, ever since you unearthed that clip of the first time he was ever on the air, and
Yeah.
Howard seemed really disappointed that he didn't stutter, and all of a sudden he's like, okay. So, yeah, I'm not convinced that it's as real as we ever thought it was.
Yep.
But let's let him go on with this.
But it's not. But my favorite one, I was doing a thing called, see, I'm stuttering on this. It's called Beach Games.
Acting.
And I had to, so they had a picture from the Angels. Jared Washburn was going to throw suntan lotion-filled balloons at my back. And I was going to say, when Jay says, are you nervous? I was going to say, don't worry, Jay, he's no Mariano Rivera. Why I put the two hardest consonants together, but he's my favorite pitcher. So then there we go.
By the way, it's Mariano ends with an O, and then Rivera's. So you didn't put is Mariano Rivera. It should be actually relatively easy to say.
All right.
But I'm not a fake stutterer, so what do I know?
All right, John, are you worried? I go, no, Jay, don't worry. He's no Randy Johnson.
So, like I said, he was on the Tonight Show for like a decade. I do believe
Eric is laughing so hard he's got to hide his face. He's cracking up at that anecdote.
Painful. God.
Karl, it's reasonable to assume he made millions of dollars working on that show. And this is what he's like, oh, yeah, the time that I couldn't say Mariano Rivera. That's the best memory he had.
That's his writing credit right there. That's proof that he wrote for the show. He changed the name of the pitcher.
By the way, the reporter in Youngstown there, I mean,
Yeah.
you're definitely talking C-team news. This is the first time that he's looked better than someone else on the set.
I don't know about that.
Shots fired from EZ.
Eric.
No, not John. I'm talking about the news anchor.
Okay.
All right,
The
that I
news
buy.
anchor looks
Yeah.
better than John, is what
Because
I'm
I'm just
trying
looking
to
at the way he combed his hair and this dye job that he has. It obviously is
bad.
the Just for Men dye job. The light bulb went out. He couldn't see what he was doing.
He referred to it as a
it's poor.
glaze earlier. Yeah,
Right.
In this. All right. Well, he's here to promote something. So let's make sure that he does a bang up job. If you own this comedy club, you're going to say, thank you, John. You made sure a lot of people wanted to go out and buy tickets.
It starts at 8. It's me and it's a Stuttering John and Friends tour, although I don't know any of the other comics. But
Good job. Thanks. That's great. Yeah. $25 never sounded like more.
I'm looking forward to it. Dave, the owner's a great guy, and I've been doing stand-up for 25 years now. And you know, I talk about aging and about dyeing my hair, although as I call it, glazing.
I didn't mean to give it away. I'm so sorry.
It's not as it's not as effeminate as dyeing, but.
How close do you think he was to saying just do it right there, Carl?
I didn't pick up on that. You might be right. Hey, I want to point something out real quick. Every time I watch these clips, I see new things. John claims he's been doing stand-up for 25 years.
Yeah.
If I went out and played, so I played soccer in high school. If I went out and played soccer tomorrow, I couldn't say I've been playing soccer for 25 years. There's a pretty big gap in between.
There's a bit of a gap. Yeah, that's fair.
John was definitely out of the stand-up business for 5 years.
Yeah, well,
as we all know.
You might even say he dabbled in it, but I don't want to be the one to say that.
I talk about everything from colonoscopies to childbirth to child rearing.
Oh, I thought he was going to say child molestation.
No, that's a show I want to go see. We talk about SA, human trafficking. It's going to be a riot.
Yeah. Easy was excited about human trafficking earlier.
And just I cover and dating, online dating, because I'm divorced now. And everybody lies about everybody. I had a girl said she was curvy. And she showed up to the date and she meant one curve. She was built like a basketball. But I get like.
So, Eric, you're probably in the small percentage of people ever to appear on this channel might have not heard that joke before. Is that the first time you've ever heard that?
That's the first time I heard that him say that joke.
And it had been pointed out before, but I love the way that the anchor goes, "Oh my!"
Yeah,
because he's like, there are so many fat women in Youngstown watching this right now.
That's a way of life in that time. I've actually,
it's a way of life.
I've actually been to that town. That is a hard living town. That town there. That is a tough place to live.
I bet it is.
Like do you do any of that?
Do I do stand-up? No.
No, online dating?
I've been married for over 20 years, John.
Oh, okay.
Right. So which of his jokes do you think he's thinking of right now, Carl? Because he doesn't use the one that I thought it would go into. That
I was married for 12 years, 3 good years.
Yeah, I was expecting that. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. I was a little disappointed that he didn't do it.
Okay.
I don't know how she puts up with me, but she
I don't know how you do it.
I just do what I'm told. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's legitimate advice, sure, from this guy. So, who do you hate more right now, Easy? Is
John,
it's still John. All right, look, I thought it was
the
a valid
anchor's
question.
fine. The anchor is given. This is a tough fucking job.
Oh, he's doing a lot more lifting than he's done in the last 30 years, probably.
Yeah.
I like that question from John too. He's just like, yeah, so I'll do some online dating. Do you do online dating? Like, do you think the guy's gonna be like, yeah, they're all fat fucks. You're right, man. It's ridiculous.
He was hoping that's what would happen. That's probably usually what happens when
these bitches are taking their photo at a fun house, and then I got to take them out for dinner.
Forward to hearing those when you have the show there tonight and tomorrow over at the Funny Farm. $25, you can't beat that.
No.
For a night of comedy.
No, it's great. I do an hour-long set, but with the stutter, it's only 5 jokes.
Do you like that, John? Do you like that one, Easy?
Every time every time of the years, talking about John on Carl's show, I always feel desperate. I always feel like just everything's wrong with the world. There's nothing good about it. It's just bad.
You and I react the exact opposite way to this. This just fills me with joy. Well, I'll give you some
disgust to it.
I'll give you some good news, Easy, because people snuck into both shows he did that weekend. Not snuck in, they bought tickets, but they recorded the sets. So we got to hear John's sets from the weekend. He absolutely crushed in this place. I swear to God, these audiences loved him.
Yeah,
it's a happy ending.
It's not a Vegas residency, but it's like settling down in Branson, Missouri, and people just come to hear the hits. And I think that this is the future for him. You know what? I'm just going to tell the same jokes that everybody makes fun of. I'm going to get paid. I'm going to try and make Clearwater Chad buy me beer afterwards, and it's a successful night.
So this is the scoreboard moment for John. I mean, if Karl ever brings up shit, he just points to, I just sold out the whatever in Youngstown.
Wow. I didn't say sell out. I just said that he got laughs.
There was a theory, I believe, on WATP. That room might have been papered a little bit.
There
might have been some freebies.
Some comps, maybe. All
right.
But Easy, I think it's more about the audience than it is about John. Because if you listen to this stand-up, it's not delivered well. It's not well written.
No.
It's terrible. And there's a lot of hack jokes, and people loved it. They laughed it up.
Yeah, it's the community. These are retarded people that live in Youngstown, Ohio, without a doubt. They're horrible.
Who else can we offend on the show
add them to the list. Exactly.
How do you feel about Canadians? Easy.
Only potatoes. That's the only thing he likes from Canada. All right, well, let's get to our main event. Let's head over to some celebrity news.
WATV, who are these celebrity news? Who are these celebrity news?
Karl, how would go ahead and read that. Easy.
A Line in the Cub podcast, great supporters. Here you go, Karl. I hope this keeps the electricity on.
All right, yeah, I will prorate that. I will get a larger portion of that than you guys do. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's Big Daddy Doodoo. Daddy Dodo. Sorry.
He's happy to see our pal, Mr. Hamburger. And who?
Oh, hey, Mr. Hamburger.
Oh, hey, Big Daddy Dodo.
Great to see you. Karl, how would you characterize your admiration for musician Corey Feldman? We're not talking about him as an actor. Musician Corey Feldman, one of the greatest minds of the 21st century. Is that accurate?
Yes. A friend of mine who lives in Detroit reached out to me and said, Karl, we have to go see Corey Feldman live. And I said, I'm getting my airfare. I'm getting my Airbnb. Let's do this. Not a lot of people that I would travel all the way to Detroit to go see him perform live as the opening act at 6 p.m. in the daylight in an amphitheater.
Yeah, and at that point, who even needs to stick around for Limp Bizkit? Because
we did.
But you didn't need to.
Didn't need to. I got my money's worth.
But Corey is mostly known as an actor, and he had as I said earlier, a 75-minute appearance on Billy Corgan's new show. And I wanted to just take a few moments to go through some of the highlights. And he made a little news by talking about this. So I do want to start with movies that he said he should have been in.
It's one of the movies that you said was going to make people mad.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Okay.
So I was actually cast to play Leonardo DiCaprio's role.
Okay.
I never saw the film because I'm still bitter leaf in that one. But yes, I was originally cast for that role.
Did they push you out or?
Johnny Depp. He was.
Now, I don't know how edited this conversation is, but it didn't seem like it took much for Billy to get him to go, Johnny Depp. Yeah.
Cast after I was.
Yeah.
And apparently whispered into the producer's ear that he wasn't fond of me and thought that I was...
Was there a reason he wasn't fond of you?
Yeah, he said I was a junkie and that he didn't work with junkies.
No, I think this could certainly happen, but Billy asked an important question.
And this is the first time I remember ever telling this story, so I'm sure I'm going to get hung by this one, but yeah, anyway.
Were you using drugs or...?
No, I was sober. I had just gotten sober. I had just gotten out of rehab.
Okay, so you were a junkie like a month earlier.
Yeah. I know. Why would you be so offended by that? I've been out of rehab for weeks. What are you talking about?
Yeah. And Johnny Depp's like, yeah, you know what? And by the way, if he said that he was cast before Johnny Depp, so that means at some point, Who's Eating Gilbert Grape, the biggest talent attached was Corey Feldman. But then when you get Johnny Depp attached, you're like, well, we could probably get some more money. We need to get rid of Corey Feldman. Do you think he got kicked off of this movie just because he was a junkie? I'll ask you first, Easy.
No, you're still muted.
You muted yourself. So
sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, that goes a long way. If you've if you for years alienated people and you're fucking stumbling all around Hollywood, fuck that shit. I mean, I don't blame anybody for doing that, and that's coming from a drunk.
Okay. My thinking, Carl, is that they realized they were going to put out a movie with Corey Feldman as a mentally challenged young boy. And they thought, you know what, this isn't really in his wheelhouse. Let's get somebody better. But I don't know. Maybe you think otherwise, Carl.
Corey's a very delusional guy. He thinks that there's like this Illuminati thing trying to kill him in Hollywood.
There's a little.
What's he called? The Wolf Pack is after him and stuff like that.
The Wolf Pack is after him.
So he's paranoid. He's delusional. How would this get back to him that Johnny Depp said, nope, I'm not going to work with him because he's a junkie? Would someone be like, yeah, Johnny Depp says you're no good, you're a junkie, you got to go?
Yeah.
I don't think they would treat it that way.
No, and I think if Johnny Depp did say that, it would probably have been kept in confidence. So,
by the way, when this all develops on this show, is there a point that Billy says, well, ladies and gentlemen, you're probably wondering why I have him here? Does he explain how this all how he got on his radar? Because it doesn't really add up in my brain.
Can I tell you all the people who canceled on Billy Corgan to make this happen?
There was a very long list. It's called The Magnificent Others, this show. And Billy has met Corey, I didn't clip this, anywhere between 2 and 12 times. And I believe Billy that it was 12 times. Corey seems to think 1 or 2. And so he's gotten to know him, and I guess he found him interesting, but also what Carl said. This was recorded almost a year ago because of something I'm going to play later. This is before that Limp Bizkit tour.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So this one's been in the can for a while. But you might be asking yourself, all right, he was supposed to be in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Were there any other movies that Corey was supposed to be in?
Technically, just a couple years later, I also was up for Titanic. So there was kind of a...
Oh, my God. Everything that Leo did, it was supposed to be Corey Feldman. Well, I hope that wasn't his heartbreak.
Double banger with Leo. But that was okay, because that one I wasn't as close. Like, I was up for it. I read for it. I know that I was in the contention somewhere. Another one was Lord of the Rings. I was actually up for Sean's role. And I heard I got pretty close on that as well. And then
that would have been a perfect movie for you.
It would have, although I couldn't have gained the weight. So I'll give.
Yeah, I have his head and body. He looks like that little guy on the movie Willow. I don't know what it is about him, but it's almost like an AI peculiar version of him. The way his head's matching up with his feeble body, it's throwing me off.
Yeah, the black T-shirt with I don't know, the Jackson Pollock painting on it. I'm not quite sure what his whole vibe doesn't really work. But
is he just going through a list of the highest grossing movies between 1999 and 2004?
Yeah. Well,
I was going to be in that.
So he's saying he's up for the part that his friend Sean Astin got in those Lord of the Ring movies, and just listen to the way he talks about his friend.
Although I couldn't have gained the weight, so I'll give him that. He did a great job. Aesthetically.
So I'm nowhere near as fat as my friend,
right.
so I couldn't have been in it.
I was up for Avatar. I was
I like that he says he did a great job aesthetically. In other words, he did a good job getting fat.
Yeah.
He didn't say he was a good actor, didn't say he killed the role, and it makes sense. No.
Well, Corey has, of course, had a long and varied career, but what does he think is maybe his greatest accomplishment?
Biggest accomplishment out of all of them is my beautiful son.
So he says his beautiful son. Eric, do you want to hazard a guess how old his son might be if he's talking about him in that way?
It sounds like he's, I don't know, young, I guess. I don't know.
So
I have
like,
no idea.
Like under 10, that's what I thought when I
Sure.
heard it. Probably has like, maybe even, a beautiful bouncing baby boy.
That's the greatest part, because it's authentic, it's real.
Okay.
And he's a beautiful guy. I'm so pleased, so grateful.
How old's your son?
He's 19.
He's a beautiful guy. He's 19. Yeah. So it takes away a little bit, because I was like, oh, what a sweet thing. Oh no, your son's an adult.
His son's also like a schizophrenic or something. I learned about this from that show Jim and Them that pay very close attention to Corey Feldman. And Corey actually got mad at them for bringing up his son, who he says has 2 different personalities, and one of them is very bad.
Okay.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Carl, because I have another clip with more on his son.
Okay, cool. I haven't watched this yet.
I don't want Corey coming after you for trashing his kids, but I don't know. I listened to this and I don't know. His son kind of sounds like a loser.
Feel you've been able to help your son avoid some of the stuff that you've been through?
Absolutely.
Isn't that, in a weird way,
It's
the most
amazing.
healing thing?
Oh, it's amazing. The last thing he wants is to be an actor. It's the last
But
thing
even
he
like,
wants.
let's call it like sending him into the
all of it,
into
man.
the abyss.
Listen,
right?
he's never had to do blow. He's never had to do blow. I mean, just saving him from that journey.
There's the line for the T-shirt.
Exactly. Or there is no more lines for the T-shirt.
So that's a Stuttering John level delivery there. I mixed myself up. So that is his my son's never had to do blow line that you know of. You know, he hasn't had to do blow, but I'm sure why wouldn't he want to?
What does that even mean? He's never had to do, like, was Corey forced to do cocaine when he was younger against his will?
Is that the thing? Things get tough and you just start snorting cocaine?
Well, maybe his schedule on License to Drive was a little bit much for him. So maybe he needed a little pick-me-up. But let's...
Good point.
Oh, Big Daddy Dodo. What does he say, Eric?
I was up for the role of my precious.
Okay, that I buy. All right, let's hear more about his kid.
And he's a spiritualist. His name is Zen, so he was kind of built into it.
Well, you backed him into that.
It was a prerequisite.
Where do you go? Where do you go with the name Zen?
Right. I mean, he loves playing the tin pan. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of his the talking drums and all that kind of. I mean, he's
a musician.
He's getting that direction. He's going that direction, but he's really into meditation and spirituality and just reading about chakras and becoming a breath coach.
Becoming a breath coach. I had never heard those two words put together before. He helps people breathe. So yeah, I go back to my earlier statement. His kid sounds like a loser. Nobody needs to.
Well, when you're 19, you go, is he a musician? The answer is either yes or no. Not like, I think maybe one day he'll figure, check out some music stuff.
We might take him to School of Rock when he's 30.
Right.
Maybe that's what we will do.
It's always interesting when you see someone who's saying a lot of words, but you don't, there's nothing really being said.
Yeah.
It's painful to listen to. My wife blames me for this. She says the same thing about me. You talk too much and you're not even saying anything.
I'm not going to
lie.
lie.
My notes for you, Easy. Holy shit. It's amazing.
I'm not going to lie. There are parts of this that weren't fun and I didn't want to goof on them. There's parts of it that are really sad. But then there's the other parts. Go ahead. Amanda Nappy. $4.99. Christian Easy, good show today. You really don't need Karl, but I guess he needs his ego built back up after the creep off yesterday. I think that they both had a great showing. I think you guys both brought some people who would have been great on Supermarket Sweep on yesterday.
I was awesome on the creep off yesterday, but the voicemailers seem to think that I'm phoning it in over there.
Oh, I did hear that.
Either that or those are the ones that Vinny chooses to play because I'm not curating the voicemails on that show.
That is a good point. I did notice you came with your own voicemail too, though. So I guess.
Well, sometimes people call into who are these podcasts. Live from time to time.
All right, so look,
Christian studies this stuff closely. He's good. See, you could be sucking up a little bit more, Easy. I never hear you going, yeah, it was great at the creep off yesterday.
Oh, I know.
He didn't even say that when he was on the creep off.
No, I forgot I did
attention
it.
To me. Yeah, wasn't even paying attention to me at that time.
No, I was like, yeah, whatever. Did I do the creep off? Huh? What? I don't know.
So let's focus on when it all started to go wrong for Corey in terms of his
Can I ask a quick question? I'm sorry to interrupt you, Christian.
No, please.
So Corey's son obviously is a loser.
Zen. He has a name, Karl. Zen.
Zen is a loser who doesn't have a job, obviously, if he's a breath coach or whatever the fuck he's talking about.
He's close to the certification, by the way. He's almost there.
Right. No, I don't want to take that away from him. I'm sure he has a lot of clients don't know how to breathe. They should just follow around the police. You can find a lot of people who can't breathe that way. So,
what does that mean, Robin? What does that mean?
What's he talking about? Does Corey have enough money to support a ne'er-do-well? Did Corey make enough money in his career? Because he's a child actor. He's in big movies, but I don't think that that money's going to stay with you for decades, right?
I think that the legitimate tragedy is that he never got any of that money. He became emancipated at like 15, but his good earning years were all before that, So maybe he got Dream a Little Dream money, License to Drive money. He doesn't have like a nickel of Goonies money though,
Yeah, and that McDonald's commercial he did when he was 3. He's not seeing a cent of that either.
No, definitely not. All right. So, we know Corey was going to have this amazing music career. In this interview, he tells the story again about how he played a song for Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson said it would be number 1. Why don't I take it to Tommy Mottola? And then he says, no, I don't want to do that. which is probably the moment where you're like, well, Michael Jackson said he'd take your song into, the biggest producer in the business. Why would you say no? But all right. Whose fault is it? Is it Corey's fault? No. It all comes down to Howard Stern. And he had a couple good appearances on Howard. He does drop in this interview that he was friends with Sam Kinison. And the first time he was on was the day that Sam had died. But then he is on Howard's TV show, and it went like this.
Or come do the TV show too, it'll be great. So I'm going with the idea that he's been really sweet, he's been great. I came in through Sam, so he knows not to mess with me, everything will be fine. And I get there, and they said, we're gonna do a skit. It's called Club Howie, and you're gonna perform, but we're gonna act like it's Club MTV, but I'm dressed as Right Said Fred, and so it'll be kind of funny, but it'll be like you performing, and the performance won't be funny, it'll just be you performing.
Sure.
Okay, I can go with that. So I do it, and I walk out on stage, and there's a midget in a hula skirt.
Already sounds great, by the way.
Wait, is he talking about Stuttering John?
I would assume it's Hank, if I had to guess.
Oh, right.
There
are other little people, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of, there's people even littler than John. This is too early for it to have been Eric. What were you going to say, speaking of Eric?
He was the last person in on the joke. And it's remarkable that he could be the last person.
You haven't even heard him say this part yet. So, yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And there's...
It's just remarkable because his ego is so fucked up that he actually thinks that he is good at this shit.
He really does.
Guys passing blow-up dolls in front of me and acting like they're mentally impaired. And like, I'm going, what is this? What is this? This mockery.
It sounds hysterical. I couldn't find this, by the way. I looked for it.
You couldn't find it? I've seen it. It's
okay.
out there somewhere.
You know what? I didn't look hard enough. Is apparently
I think, Carl, you might have featured this at some point.
I might have. Yeah, I think you did.
All right. Well, I've got my homework for after the show. But Billy asks an important question.
Do you think it was just thought they were having a bit of fun, or do you think it was purposely mean-spirited?
I think it was very mean-spirited.
I mean, it's a little column A, little column B.
Lean into it, you fucking idiot.
It's funny because it's mean-spirited.
And I know this because one of the producers who wrote that sketch was Mark Cronin. And
then he goes on to explain how this is the guy who got him to do the Surreal Life, and how they put him in a house with MC Hammer and Emmanuel Lewis, and he didn't realize that they were going to be making fun of him. You're in a house with Webster and Pumps and a Bump.
What are all these has-beens doing here? I'm Corey Feldman.
Exactly. Between Corey and like Gary Busey. Gary Busey doesn't know that everyone's making fun of him, but that's because half of Gary's brain fell out in a motorcycle accident.
Correct.
Corey he doesn't get that benefit. He's so fucked up. The only time he's actually been wanted in entertainment for his ability is when he was a child actor. He was very good when he was very young. Since then, he's a goddamn goof. And he doesn't even realize it.
Howard Stern might have started something he doesn't even realize he did that's really taken off like 25 years later of just clowning Corey for his music.
Yeah, right, exactly. But this is what Billy really wants to focus on because he talks about him as a musical performer.
Watch what happens in the end.
Let me set this up better. So he talks about, the people turn up to see him. There are many people who turn up, ironically. I don't know, possibly Carl. Big J. Okerson has talked a little bit about.
I saw Big J there with Jim Florentine and those guys.
Yeah. So, but here, let's see what the message is, the takeaway from a Corey Feldman.
Watch what happens in the end.
Which is?
They always walk out with a smile.
It's an important question. Carl, were you smiling after Corey was done?
Hell yeah. Ear to ear.
Yeah.
And I was disappointed because the set was so short. I think he did 5 songs. Wow. That was the only thing I was upset about. It wasn't enough Corey.
Well, there's always next tour, Carl.
Now, either they walk out or they walk out with a smile. Yeah. They walk out because a lot of times they're overpowered. So
okay. So he's going to explain here why people sometimes can't take his.
Sometimes I tell jokes that are so funny that people don't laugh. They're so funny. I get zero reaction.
They just
There's
shut
too
down
much comedy in them. The
right.
Comedy collides in their brains. Their brains don't know what to do.
In the beginning days, or the early days, I should say, and I don't want to say early days, because the early days it was all love. It wasn't until the Howard Stern era that,
again, it's Howard's fault, which, he's got a lot more common with John than maybe we think.
Them throwing these tags on me that people started doing the crossed arm, side eye stuff. But once that started, yeah, it was real obvious. And it was 50-50.
So
did you feel like it was 50-50 people there who were moved to tears at Corey's artistry, Karl?
Corey's band took the stage 4 hours before Limp Bizkit. There's barely anyone there. And of the people who are there, they got there early so that they could laugh at Corey Feldman.
Right.
I did see a few people who were confused as fuck.
Yeah.
just sitting there going, what is going on right now? While other people are like rocking the fuck out in the mosh pit.
Yeah. You have enough people that are like, is that the guy from the Lost Boys? I could have sworn I heard he was dead.
Right.
What is he doing on stage? All right. Well, Billy tries. Go ahead.
I want to jump in with one thing.
Please.
Billy Corgan is no different than Howard Stern.
Oh,
because at least Howard is having fun. This serious interview sucks dick. But Billy doesn't have the nerve to say, have you ever thought that maybe you're shitty? Have you ever thought that you're not that good? He's just fucking, he's being a pacifist to him. He's kind of, he's continuing to feed the machine with Corey with actually acting like he's a legitimate.
He's giving him enough rope to hang himself with.
It's terrible. He's an asshole.
There are a ton of comments on the YouTube video about applauding Billy for not laughing hysterically and goofing on Corey. So he does ask a really important question that he wants to get to the bottom of. And it's not easy for him to get the answer, but he really wants to know. He's like, all right, I've seen what you do. Obviously, there's no way that this is real.
This, and I feel like this is even so beneath us, but can you tell me definitively, there's nothing performative about what you're doing. You are doing what you want to do.
It's all performative.
No, but I mean performative meaning you're playing Corey Feldman, the crazy rocker guy, as...
I'm not. I'm just me, man. I'm just me.
I know
I'm just
that.
the
Offended.
So yeah, he's just trying to say like, all right, but this sucks. He's like, no.
Yeah, that was his way of doing it.
Yeah.
I just realized that he's just like Billy Bob Thornton. Remember when he was on that show and he thought he was Tom Petty?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going, the guy asking him questions about his movies. He's just like, I just want to talk about my music, man.
Yeah.
I'm a musician.
It's like Ginger from Gilligan's Island, who in interviews said, I just don't want to talk about Gilligan's Island.
Right. Okay. Well, have a good day. See ya.
Before, yeah.
But you notice he got like agitated there, and you never hear Corey Feldman. He's always in the same monotone. Him getting riled like that is rare.
He might be agitated when he looks out into the crowd and he sees Big J Okerson there, because I heard the report that he tried to get him kicked out. But that's neither here nor there. Let's see if he can salvage this, if Billy Corgan can get his answer.
I'm just doing what I do.
Even though we've had these 2 encounters.
Right.
2 to 12 encounters.
Whatever they might be, yeah.
But my point is I know that's you being you because I've had the pleasure of getting to know you a little bit.
Right.
Does it sound like a pleasure to either of you to get to know Corey Feldman a little bit better?
Right.
So when I see you on television,
hey guys, guess what?
I know that.
I'm not perfect. I'm goofy.
No,
I'm awkward.
But I'm saying
I am as imperfect as God made me.
I like the idea of you, maybe it's being glorious, but I like the idea of you putting on the record, no, there's nothing fake about what I'm doing. I am doing my thing.
Right.
That's it. Right?
I mean, it is what it is.
That's
yeah. So
it's shitty, and you think it's good. That's what it is. It's shitty. It sucks. You think it's great.
You know what, Karl? I think we have to look at Corey's schedule and fly easy out to something. I think he needs to see Corey up close.
I really wish that Corey would have been like, hey, Billy, how about when you went to like electronica music? Was that because you knew it was just going to be goofed on and it's a joke? Pick up the fucking guitar, idiot.
Let's see if Corey holds it against people who maybe aren't in on the joke. I mean, he was promoting a song at this time called The Joke. He had Fred Durst direct a video for The Joke.
I come from is, I'm going to go out there and do my job the best that I can do it every day. Mm-hmm. And when they love it, I love them back. When they hate it, I love them anyways. How about that? I'm not mad at anybody that spends money on tickets to my show. Mm-hmm. I'm not mad at the guys that want to put on the Corey Feldman Rocks tank top for girls and booty shorts and stand there in the front row with a beard going, yeah, man. Yeah.
I didn't realize he saw you at that show, Carl. He appreciated it.
We locked eyes a few times, actually, Christian.
I don't doubt it.
By the way, I actually did see video of Carl. Was it at Pine Knob when you did that
Yep.
show? Yeah,
Yep.
I actually saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, cool. If that's your trip, do it up.
So,
yeah. So anyway, so Corey tries to act like the small stuff doesn't bother him. And do you think he would tell this anecdote I'm about to play if little things didn't bother him?
Hey, Stephen King tweeted a picture of him holding my Funko Pop that I gave to you. And he's like, I got a signed Corey Feldman Funko Pop. He spelled my name wrong, but that's okay. It's the
What is the takeaway, do you think? That Stephen King, one of the most prolific writers of our lifetime, held up his stupid Funko Pop, or the fact that he spelled his name wrong? So that's what my takeaway was there.
You think that's a petty thing to complain about from
Maybe a little
Corey's
bit.
standpoint?
Yeah.
I think it shows a lack of respect, which
Yeah.
is necessary in this.
Right.
Easy enough when your last name's Hamburger, but Corey has the E in it. It's a little confusing. All right.
Can I tell you why I like Billy Corgan? I don't know if people realize this, but we are teeth twins. He also has never gotten his teeth fixed.
Aw.
So it's you, Billy Corgan, and Jewel.
That's it. Well, no, Jewel fucking fixed her teeth. That bitch.
Fucking sellout. I didn't realize that. I liked her more when she hadn't. All right, I got to try to find a good image of his teeth. But let's get to the clip that I mentioned earlier. What was the name of the tour he did with Limp Bizkit, Carl?
Loserville tour.
You are incorrect.
You know, I did Howie Mandel's podcast as part of this launch of the new single. And the tour, Low Serville, by the way.
Low Serville. What does that mean?
Go get your tickets.
Low Serville?
Low Serville. That's the name of the tour. You know, like we're going to give you a low serve and it's going to be ill.
I bought a t-shirt and he did make it so it didn't say Loserville, it does say low served ill.
Yeah, I think that, when this was happening, I think we did play like a local news thing where he said that. I had forgotten, though. He wouldn't call it Loserville. So he's like, low serve, ill. Let's see what else he says about it.
Anyway, so that's going to be all over the country. You can get tickets, VIP tickets at my website.
I saw the tour dates. That's a big tour.
Or you can come get VIP tickets only.
This is a tour that started, I think, in June of last year.
Yeah,
and
Billy, thanks for all the help promoting this tour that's now over.
Yeah, this went up last week.
I know.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, thanks for that, Billy. All right, I have one final clip of our hero, Corey Feldman. And, what does he want to leave everybody with? He probably wants to be known as an artist.
He didn't choose to be an actor.
No.
Right? So what do you choose to do now?
Write beautiful music and inspire.
At what point do you think he's going to start, Carl?
Any day now.
Okay, well, let's let him expound on it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so he's the artist, but then they probably stopped recording and then he realized something.
And there we have it. Should I
Oh, yeah.
play this real quick?
Shame.
Shameless self-promotion. This is my box set. It is available only at CoreyFeldman.net. It comes with 4 CDs, 2 DVDs, a documentary about how I got into the music industry and why, and a full 50-page color magazine that looks like a teen magazine, complete with a pair of Wayfarer-style sunglasses.
It had been some kind of reasonable conversation. And then at the very end, he's like, oh, by the way, I have this really shitty
You
looking
realize
box.
those things are stacked up in a storage facility somewhere in Southern California.
Yeah, I could probably go visit the warehouse that this
It's going to be on one of those shows where people bid on the garage or whatever the fuck, and they're going to open it up, and all those stupid boxes are going to be there.
Oh, well, what's your takeaway from that? I think that
I'll tell you what my takeaway is. I'm on Who Are These Podcasts? That was a podcast. What's going on right now? We're just watching podcasts on this show?
Did you not see Who Are These Celebrities beforehand? He's a celebrity.
Is that how you work that in?
They're both celebrities. So
Promote it.
Broadcasting.
Come on.
Yeah, it was broadcast.
He's a broadcaster. Billy's a broadcaster, you fucking idiot.
Carl, I'm going to let you go in a minute, but
Thank
we
God.
do have something. That's a terrible thing to say. Carl's our friend. But again, Chad's missing upper lip made me aware of something. We probably spend a little too much time on this show on our girl Dank De Moss, but she had a new video, and Chad's Missing Upper Lip made sure I saw it. So I want to make sure that you guys get to see it for the first time along with our audience.
Even with the booty in the front, I still look good.
Okay, so she's in a very small convenience store, which probably
Actually, that's a Target.
That's
a super Target.
If all three of us were in it, it wouldn't seem so small. And this is somebody's just video, these emoji faces just saying, damn. I'm going to let it play while you guys share.
You know what she looks like?
What's that?
What's the movie? It's a Mel Brooks movie where the guy's ass gets on his front and he looks down and his front is an ass.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't place it. But,
that's what she looks like.
Yeah. And by the way, this was from a video shoot. So she showed this on her TikTok. I've had to mute it though. So this is sort of a longer version of her really showcasing it for the camera. Eric, we've shown her a number of times, and every time I'm like, I find new roles and new ways to just be amazed. This guy who's just like, I gotta walk fast.
Well, when you think about it, like when in Austin Powers, when he played Fat Bastard, that fat suit looks less ridiculous than this actual woman who's not in a fat suit.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that is, I don't know. I mean, camel toe is not accurate. It's hippo toe. I'm not even sure.
That front puss area is just, it's a giant ass below her titties.
Can we hope that this garment she's wearing has been burned and that no one has to smell it or launder it for any reason?
If we were a wacky radio show and we got those tights, and would you volunteer to sniff them for a radio stunt?
So if it's a real radio stunt where of course it's not the actual tights, we just pretend I would.
No, it's actually the actual. Would you sniff them for ratings?
Oh, and Carl, just imagine the song parody we'd have about me sniffing her pants.
Right.
I mean, we should do a morning radio show, guy. Oh wait, Eric, you do a morning radio show.
I do.
Yeah.
Good God.
I can see this being a consequence on the creep off on the wheel of consequences.
Try to get Dank's pants.
Yeah, I'll send this to Vinny. Well, Carl, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And you're right, it is a podcast, but I love Corey too much to not.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for bringing me on.
Oh no, the lion in the cub ass was that Carl walking by, because there was a guy who's like, I mean, I do have to get around this bitch. I don't know how to do it. But why don't you let everybody know what's coming up on Who Are These Podcasts this week, and of course Dabble House and Hackamania and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I have a great time to promote this. Yeah, so dabblecon.live is where you want to go, because we have season 2 of the Kate Meany tapes, Stuttering John having private conversations with Kate Meany that were being recorded without him knowing about it. And from what I'm told, I've not heard them yet. From what I'm told, there is the most amazing content. We're going to find out so much about John. I'm in a text thread with Shuli and those guys, and they're giddy about this. They can't wait. They're like, we might have to do an extra show. Maybe we'll do a dabble point that weekend because there's too much to get to. So definitely, I recommend people go to dabblecon.live. We're going to do a pay-per-view. Who Are These Podcasts? Uncle Rico show. We got a viewer film contest. The winner gets $500 for making a film about Stuttering John. So April 11th and 12th.
And one of the things you've talked about is that this isn't going to be on YouTube. It's on a different platform. So there'll be things that you wouldn't normally be able to do on the show. So people should check it out. Yeah.
And we can show things from movies and TV shows that would be copyright struck if we were on YouTube, but we will not.
Do you want to show anything like this? Maybe pantsing Dank De Moss? Is that something that you might want to do?
Dude, does she have an OnlyFans? Does anyone know what her OnlyFans?
She does actually.
Oh, she does.
Yeah, she said on the Breakfast Club before we got struck that she has an OnlyFans.
Because how long would it take? Let's say that she wanted to spread for the fine folks who are on her OnlyFans.
Do we have to say that?
That would be a workout, right, for her?
Yeah. I think it would. Well, we appreciate it, Carl. And, you were nice enough to come on the show. So go to creepoff.com and vote for Carl. And, of course,
thecreepoff.com. Yes, please do. I want to show you guys something real quick.
Please.
Producer Chris sometimes tries to communicate to me during the show.
Yeah.
And I'm busy running the show, and he'll try to write it down on his notepad or something and show it to me. And I'm like, I can't read that. So we bought a whiteboard so that he could write notes on it and show me while we're doing the show. And my wife was on Point Dabble Point yesterday. Oh, I'm gone.
No, you'll be back. You'll be back.
My wife was on Point Dabble Point. And when she's down here, she's quite an artist, my wife.
Yeah.
And she just can't help but do some brilliant artwork on the whiteboard.
Wow.
I thought I'd share that with you guys.
And just in case anybody needed to be reminded why Jenny is a keeper, that right there, you should actually frame that whiteboard and get Chris a new one, Carl.
She loves drawing dicks, and I did ask if that's ejaculate or urine.
Oh,
it's definitely ejaculate.
Yes, that is the answer. Yeah, very good.
All right.
Eric, how do you even remember what ejaculate looks like?
Oh, fuck. You're right. It's all dried up.
All right. Well, the great Karl Hamburger, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And,
thanks, guys. I'll be on WATP tomorrow, 5:30 Eastern time on this channel with the great Adam Bush and producer Chris.
Did you do a tease for that show? Do you know what you guys are talking about?
I know we're talking about donkey lips, and I'm sure we'll get to the Stuttering John daytime.
I was excited to hear Adam hate donkey lips, but then I started to feel bad for him, and I'm like, no, that's not what I wanted.
I know.
I think Adam missed
it's
the
complicated.
memo. Yeah,
it's a complicated situation. They both come from Nickelodeon shows from the 90s, so it's tough.
Well, we appreciate it. All right, everybody, check that out, and we'll sign off. And we've got some last minute super chats to get to, and of course we have voicemails, and people can go to whoarethese.com to get the phone number for our voicemail, and we appreciate when anyone does that. I want to take a look and see what we're missing in the super chat department. Any recent ones?
I think we got them all.
Well, we got to get to early on. By the way, Rick Rude became a YouTube member. Congratulations! And we mentioned all the bonus content, 2 bonus episodes a month, and you can watch the show record live. So this ties directly in, and Mr. Majestic, we didn't forget about you. This ties directly into a voicemail I want to play. Mr. Majestic, before the show even started, pointed out that as a veteran, I was offended by last week's comment. That was something that Eric Zane said.
Is that a vet or a veterinarian?
I assume he means you didn't try to
said something bad about a dog doctor.
You didn't badmouth veterinarians. You badmouthed our men and women in uniform is
I did. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's okay. It could be hard to remember sometimes. And we have a very, and I do mean very passionate voicemail on the subject.
Okay.
And I wanted to make sure we took the time to play.
Okay.
Not going to be corny at all, Carl. And you can put this on whichever show you want, WATP, Who Are These Socials, whatever.
By the way, it's about this show, so the show that makes sense to play it on is this one. But I'll let him speak it.
Yeah, he kind of gave permission. He said, "Yeah, you can do this." He was telling Carl
by leaving the voicemail, Carl gets the permission. So let's hear what he has to say.
All right. Okay.
You need to fire Eric Zane, and I mean fire him off your entire network because of what he said today about the military and his flippant remarks, which dishonored the men and women who have died for our freedom. Okay? I usually am not a Karen. I usually am not offended easily, but given the chance to even apologize, he just basically flipped us the bird. So I'm done. I'm not done with you, but I'm done with him, and I may be done with you if you don't do something about him.
Okay.
It's not a threat. It's just basically, I think you need to know how people feel. Thanks a lot, Carl. Bye.
Okay.
It sounded like a threat.
It did sound like a threat. And, we just had Carl on for almost an hour and we had some fun. And I'm going to give Easy a chance to respond.
Yeah.
But I do want to point out that me personally, I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men and women who died to give me that right. So I'm proud to be an American. Eric Zane,
me too.
You're a grown man with your opinions. But
yeah.
What do you?
Wait a minute. Did you?
Yeah. No, I
want. If you want,
I'm gonna hide. Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna hide. Okay. Yeah. Look, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, look. Let me clarify. When I said that only dumb wrestlers would go into the military, because I think that's what I was being beat up over, that nonsense. Look, when I said that about only dumb wrestlers would go into the military, when I said dumb, I meant like super dumb, like, Pat Tillman dumb. That's that type of dumbass. Or I don't know.
You're definitely helping your cause.
I'm clarifying.
Yeah.
Or like that moron from American Sniper, whatever his name was. Chris Kyle.
Chris Kyle.
Chris. Yes. The guy who held the fake baby on the movie.
Kyle. Yeah. Well, that's the movie, but yeah.
That type of stupidity.
Okay.
Not like the real veterans. I meant like the morons on Normandy.
So you're talking
Those
about
idiots.
You don't have respect for people on the front line, but the generals who stay in the office and make the decision about sending.
Yeah, those are not wrestlers. Okay? So I don't know if I'm supposed to apologize to wrestlers or idiots getting blown up on the beach. But
I don't think you're helping by calling them idiots, but I wanted to give you this opportunity.
What? I don't get it. I'm confused. Now you asked me to talk, and now here I am explaining myself.
Dr. Bob's ankle monitor said, "Wait, what did someone do to offend someone?"
I don't know.
We talked a little bit about it. Line in the Cub said, "Zane is Zane. I support him." And look, I didn't want people to think we were, I was hiding from this because I'm a coward. But I didn't want people to think we weren't going to talk about it. But I did save it.
Well, there we go. I addressed it, so he should be happy now.
I saved it for the end of the show because I wanted to have a fun show. The one pun does point out Karl is gone. Keep the show going. He's not looking. I could easily do another hour and a half, the amount of clips that we didn't play today, but that's all right. That's going to be a better show for next week. So.
Like that scene in the end of Private Ryan when the guy is crying.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Oh, no.
I'm not how I feel.
I can't agree with you on that one.
There, I fixed it. I have.
I don't think you fixed it. I think that you're not helping. You're not helping them. You're hurting them. But I think that people that are going to stop watching the show because you said that to Wired Christian. Was I a good man? Comedy Gold. I think that, I don't know how much that helped, but I wanted to give you.
There you go. That is my official statement on that ridiculous nonsense that I said.
I know you called me last week, and I realized when you called me, I talked to Karl about this. Have me on your show, and I texted you, I couldn't talk now, and I realized, you didn't actually want to talk to me. You just
I wanted to right this wrong.
Yeah,
that I had.
Do you think you've now righted this wrong?
Absolutely.
Oh, you do.
I don't even know who that was. You said somebody's called Duke of the
Duke of the Delusional sent a chat.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I know that somebody on Reddit posted about this, and the Reddit crowd was really pissed on that guy's behalf. I mean, they were so mad at me. None of them laughed in that guy's face and told him to fuck off. And that's good. You want that type of support when someone does something like this. So I support the complaint. I have now fixed it. I'm glad all those people on Reddit supported that guy who was talking about it. And we go on. It is over.
I don't know how closely you read that Reddit thread because people were actually kind of clowning him and agreeing with you, which that actually shocked me. I'm not going to lie. I was surprised how many people agreed with you.
Are you telling me that the audience on Reddit thought that it was just a silly comment joke and not a big deal? That's bullshit. That is bullshit, goddammit.
I love that we have our biggest audience like almost ever. And this is what we're doing with it. So we appreciate that. If you want to leave us a voicemail, you can go to whoarethese.com and find the phone number. Or I do take them directly at blattcast@gmail.com, BLADTCAST. And next week, we are going to continue the heavy hitters, the big names, the marquee talent. We're going to be joined by Eric Nagel. E-Rock will be on with us. There is a podcast that he and I have both been keeping an eye on, And a broadcasting show that we're going to talk about. And I'm excited to.
Is it mine? Is it mine?
No, I wish.
Assholes.
I can't watch that much Eric Zane. Come on, who can? But in any case, I want people to tune in next week for that. And I don't know if anybody wants more Dank De Moss, I can show those. I could show those videos again. But Eric, I want you to let people know where can they find more Eric Zane. After that apology, I think everybody's ready to give you a big bear hug, and we're all friends again. So where do people go for that?
Absolutely. You can head over to Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. That is where I do my show daily, 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Thursday. Friday, I start an hour earlier at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And you can find me at Eric Zane Live on Twitch, or download the Twitch app and just search at Eric Zane Live.
I noticed you were having trouble concentrating on what you were saying. Was it distracting to see Cord Wainer? Zane would be speaking English if it wasn't for the brave Revolutionary Army. Cord Wainer, I've never seen you before. I'll let you read that one from Dr. Scotty Jones.
Dr. Scotty Jones says, I'd be offended if I was a dumb wrestler. You see, it's those hurtful comments that's going to get people worked up and really offended. And we can't have that. So knock that off.
Well, I appreciate everybody being here. And of course, the great Karl Hamburger. And if you want to check out my podcast, The Blackcast, BLADTCAST, Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, you can find me over there looking at 50 years of the Aerosmith album, Toys in the Attic, where my guests will include Don Jameson. So you can check that out. And we talked, of course, about whoarethese.com, hackamania.com, use promo code WATP, and, of course, dabblecon.live. So we will see you all next week with the great Eric Nagel. And I do believe that by one penny, yes.
We got 3 $5 ones.
So I got to read all of them, I guess.
I mean, there's 5.
All right.
5. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll start from the beginning.
Okay. So this is Christian Bladt, as always, reminding you that every mic is a hot mic. Who handles fuck yeah. Who handles font-related crimes? Sans Sheriff? What's Satan's favorite font? Helvetica. Home run chipper. I really need to work on my chip.
I like it.
I'm glad. It's probably the most embarrassing thing I've done on YouTube. The Lion and Cub, also $5. Here you go, Carl. I hope this keeps the electricity on. Yeah, Carl got $4.99. No, Carl got $4.98 of that, and Easy and I each split a penny. Dwyer Christian, if your feelings matter, get a fresh tampon and drink your Bud Light and go to Greenland. Oh my God, she is so fat with a PH. Yeah, we appreciate that. Was that a late edition, that one?
No. That's
why Christian is. Yeah. Okay.
But then don't forget, I was offended by last week's comment.
I don't know anything about that. I couldn't even hear what was going on. So anyway, thanks everybody. And this was a lot of fun. Always good to have Karl on with us. And we'll see you next Tuesday with the great Eric Nagel.